Okay. Okay. And five and four. Oh, and three. And let me go live. Where is that? Where's that button? Where's that button? Come on. Come on. There it is. Sorry. Okay. And we are almost done. Yeah, almost on. And I'm gonna get this up right away. And then
Okay,
I'll tell you when it airs, because it should air fairly fast as well.
perfect.
Um, okay. Thanks for being patient with me. All right, we can rock and roll now. All right. All right, everybody, thanks so much for listening. We have a very special guest. So excited to have her on the show today. This is Elizabeth Bigala. She used to play at the University of Houston for women's soccer. Now she is back home in the 704 at the University of Charlotte, playing it with their women's soccer team over in the AAC conference. If you want to follow Elizabeth on Instagram, it is Liz, Liz, and then it's a dot underscore dot and then Kate, Kate. And then I believe you have a TikTok. I looked it up. I don't know if it's still active, but if you
I
want to
do.
check, it's not, is it still
I do.
active
It's
or not?
active. It is still active.
Okay. It's ITSLIZKATEE on TikTok. Anyways, enough of the nonsense at the top. Elizabeth, thanks so much for coming on. So grateful we finally got this going.
Of course, I'm so excited to be here.
And we're so excited to have you. You are a star on the field and off the field. We're going to kick that all around as the conversation rolls on. Let's first talk about you growing up in a soccer family. Your mom and your dad both played at Alabama A&M. What was it like growing up in that kind of environment? And, even to mention that your dad played with the Uganda national team as well.
Honestly, when I first started sports, I was a gymnast. So soccer
Wow.
wasn't even in a question. My parents didn't really force the sport on me. If I wanted to do the sport, then they would love that, but they just wanted me to stay active. And then one day I'm just like, wait, like I want to switch something up a little bit. And I started getting into soccer, and of course, both of my parents were so excited. So growing up, when I started playing, I was like the age of 7, which is kind of late for so many people. I didn't know the first thing about touching a soccer ball. When I tell you, if you saw me playing soccer back then to now, you would probably think I would not be where I am right now.
Well, listen, right now you're kicking ass and taking no prisoners, that's for sure. And let's going into that. Like you're 5'9", you're extremely versatile. You can play forward, winger, or fullback. And as far as playing so far on so many positions on the field where any coach can move you all over the place, what is your favorite position to dominate as far as that goes?
Honestly, I really like to play the winger position, anything
Okay.
7-11, mainly on the left side because I like to think that my left foot is a lot stronger than my right foot. I love using my left, and
Okay.
I can also cut in and drive and shoot and take people on 1v1. I'm a big runner. So if you want to play me in through behind, go ahead. I'm gonna run to that ball.
And obviously, the size advantage is a plus two for the
Definitely.
coaching staff as well, because you can definitely jump up and get in on those headers as well. Let's talk about the recruiting process. I want to get into Charlotte, but starting off out of high school, you were a stud in high school, but also playing club. I want you to talk about the recruiting class. I mean, process as far as that goes. Excuse me.
So my recruiting process, honestly, I would say when June 15th came, I wouldn't say I was stressed, but I just had to get everything organized. It was easy flowing, coaches coming in talking to me, but the biggest things that I was looking for was a coach that was actually going to develop me, not just as a player, but as a person. And I've stuck with that through like my transfer process and my first recruiting process, and then secondly, academics is such a big thing to me. crazy. I started out as a pre-med major and now I'm moving into pre-law. But I started at
Oh.
Boston College, which gave me the academics and the athletics. But then stuff happened. Coach got let go, and then I came in. Coach Jaime, who is the coach that I was with first at University of Houston when I was recruited, he called me again and he was like, "Liz, we really want you here." And I'm like, "Hey, like this coach is already making me feel like family." He poured his heart out, and I could see he loved the game just as much as I did, which I really appreciated. And University of Houston gave me great academics as well. And they set me up for a lot of great connections with people that I have now for internships and all of that. So my recruiting process was, I wouldn't say tricky, but like towards the end, come signing day, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? But I ended up at Houston, and for the 2 years that I was there, I would really say it developed me into the player and person that I am now.
So talk about the full circle from, growing up in North Carolina, Boston College, Houston, now that circle back to North Carolina. How does it feel to come back home?
Honestly, I'm really excited. Like when I went away, I was like, okay, like I get to explore, I get to like be independent, I
Right.
get to grow, and I did all of that. And now I'm back here, and it's like I have my support system, I have my family, I have my old club coaches, I have my club coaches, and I have my college coaches here who really see something in me that a lot of coaches didn't, especially coming off of injury. And it's just Charlotte is a great school for so many things, and I just feel so much more supported, and I feel like I'm in a better environment to where I can really grow and develop to be the dominant player that I know I can be.
Elizabeth Bigala here on the program. The Instagram is Liz and then dot underscore dot Kate. And then the TikTok is it's Liz Kate and with two E's, not one. Definitely check her out on both of those social media platforms. I want to talk a little bit about Charlotte and obviously, coming back from the injury. Can you talk about the rehabilitation, how that's been going? Do you feel like you're at a full strength? I know we spoke on the phone and you said you're practicing with some teams as far as professional over there. Talk a little bit about all that.
So rehabilitation wise, I wouldn't say just got cleared, but I got cleared about 2.5 months ago, fully from my ACL tear back in 2025. It was a tricky process. I will say that the rehabilitation process and time with all the complications I went through did take a toll, but I feel that I am now 100% ready. I'm training with Charlotte Ascent. It's a semi-pro team here in North Carolina. And training with them and doing the fitness package that we were given from Charlotte, I feel come July 15th, which is our report date at Charlotte, and our first home games, I feel that I'll be 100%, 110%, honestly. My knee doesn't bother me anymore. It just feels normal. I feel a lot stronger, a lot faster, and I'm just ready to get back out on the field and, play against people because I haven't done that in so long.
Right. I want you to talk about the mental health process of going through such a crazy injury. And we see a lot of women now, men get tear the ACLs, but I feel like that's a lot of women are tearing that. They wrote a big article in the USA Today about that a couple months back. We discussed that with another women's soccer player we had on previously. But talk a little bit about that mental health process, going through all the complications and going through the injury in general, which it's an extremely tough injury to even come back from.
So, I went through 3 surgeries, which
Wow.
is a lot for just an ACL. I tore my ACL, a little bit of my MCL, and both of my meniscus. So, the day after my birthday, so crazy. The day after I had my birthday and had so much fun, I tore my ACL at practice. And
Ugh,
when I tell you everything just came crashing down, I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because I'm such a big person of I need a plan and I have to have
yeah.
everything planned out. And when I tore my ACL, I'm like, this is not a part of the plan. What am I gonna do? I'm calling my dad, I'm freaking out, I'm calling my mom, I'm like, guys, like you're not here. I'm in Houston by myself. I have no one. I'm freaking out. But honestly, I if someone asked me to redo this process over again, I would say yes, a million times over because this process has taught me so much about myself, so much about other people, and it's made me so much more mentally tough. mental toughness is a big thing that my parents drilled into me when I was younger. And I actually have a nonprofit organization that I am
Wow.
reinventing. The name is Frenchie Kate, and it really works with teens' mental health, especially the athletic side. And I have a sports performance coach that I went to, and my psychologist. Going through such a big injury can like put a big toll on you, and you put your identity. I know me, I put my identity so much into soccer. It's like, who am I without this sport? And it's like getting back to things that I love and getting back to living outside of the sport was such a big help. And one thing that the doctor asked me to do when I tore my ACL before I got my surgery, he said, I need you to find your why. I need you to find your purpose. I need you to find your reason of doing this and hold on to that through this whole process. Because if you don't know your why, if you don't know your purpose, you're going to lose everything.
Yes.
And I found my why. My why is not because, like, yeah, of course I love the game and yeah, my parents played. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. You know, my why is knowing that I can be the best at everything that I can do. My why is making sure that not only I am happy, but other people are happy. And, making sure that everything is well taken care of for. I'm a big people person. I'm a big person who likes to talk and make connections. And it's like, if I can bring happiness and joy by playing soccer to someone else, I know that's making me happy as well. So, just finding your why, finding your purpose, and going through this process is probably the biggest thing that I'll tell anyone going through this. And don't think about the negative parts. Don't think about, oh my gosh, I have PT. PT was 3 hours long, 4 hours long. I
Wow.
was there at the facility, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., all day. And my teammates will tell you, I was there every day. I lived in the training room.
Oof.
Yes, it's tough now, but once it gets done, how you go through your process is going to determine what type of player you are coming out of the process. And if you keep a positive mindset about it, it helps so much.
Wow. Yeah, very well said. Thank you for saying that to myself and also the audience listening. I want to go a little deeper into the foundation because this is something about you that preparing for the interview, I never found out about. So go a little deeper into that, how people can find out more about the foundation in general. I know we usually do this at the end, but since you brought it up now and I didn't really prepare for that, uh, I'd love for you to go a little deeper into that now.
So I started Frenchie Kate when I was in middle school going into high school because I was always the youngest in everything, every grade, every sport. And being the youngest, you get picked on a little bit. And with being picked on, little old Liz, she like it hurt her feelings. And it's just like that really can like affect people's confidence, that can affect your mental health. And I've seen too many people that I know and too many people that like my friends know and family know that mental health is such a big thing and it can lead to other things. And I feel that with my parents instilling that into me being so young, that organization is something that I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to put something in place that someone has an online chat serum to talk to other people about other things, get advice. It's like it's teen led, it's peer led. It's not led by adults. It's a panel of people, a panel of teens that, we have real conversations. And if you're struggling with stuff, we give you breath work, help exercise. We give you other exercises to go through. And if you need someone to just talk to, that's really what it is. When I got to college, I what's the word for it? I would say I shut it down for a little bit because I wanted to get acclimated. Being a freshman, whole new city, I wanted to put all my
Right.
focus into that. And then I was going to reinstate it sophomore year. Sophomore year, ACL tear. And that was just a really big thing. And I'm like, no more excuses, no more, oh, this is happening, this is popping up. Like, Frenchie Kate is such a big thing, and coming in the fall, towards winter break, I do cookies for a cause during December, and we just put little goodie bags together for women's shelters, and we just have sit down and we just have real talks. That's the biggest thing. You have real talks with real people, and you're not just talking to AI, which is great, but like being face to face with people is like it helps, and you can make connections and you can make friends and you can have people with you supporting you. If you feel like you're alone, you're never alone. That's the biggest thing for it. So when it gets reinstated, I will definitely let you know. But
Yeah,
Frenchie came
please do.
to
Yeah.
the game, and when everything gets kicked off and rolling, you guys will definitely know about it.
Awesome. Yes, please do. And yeah, we don't condone people having full-blown conversations with AI. That's when bad things happen. So please don't do
Yes,
that. I
don't do
do
that.
I do talk to AI sometimes, but it's
Right.
not my best friend or my buddy. We try to
Exactly.
do that with real people.
Have a real conversation, literally.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Again, for people listening, Elizabeth Bigala here on the program. It is Liz dot underscore dot Kate on Instagram. And then on TikTok, it's Liz Kate with two E's at the end. Definitely check her out again on Instagram and TikTok. As we kind of continue on into the interview, just kind of discussing Charlotte. When you chose Charlotte, obviously part of it was, you're coming back home, that homecoming. You have that your mom, your dad, your friends, your family, your old coaches, the list goes on and on. But talk about meeting some of the ladies that play on the team. Did you know a lot of the ladies on the team? How have they brought you in? Have they brought you in with open arms?
Honestly, I know some like I know of some of the girls, like like being in North Carolina, like soccer players, like everyone knows of everyone, but I don't really know the girls yet. But
Okay.
based off of like just like being welcomed into the group chats and like going on my official visit, the coaches, it literally felt like home. I was in my media day shoot for like my committing pictures, and we were literally blasting Beyonce. Like like we were just having fun in there, and it felt natural. It felt comfortable. Sometimes you can go into places and you can talk to different girls and they can give you that
Right.
robotic answer. Yeah, it's like
Sure.
a home, it's like a family, da 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 da. But like it really felt comfortable where I could just be myself and just breathe. Like I didn't have to be like, oh, uptight Liz and just like have the perfect answer for everything. It's you just do it. You just do what you want to do. And honestly, the girls are great and I feel the competitive atmosphere already. We have accountability groups for our summer workout packets, and every Saturday we go through like our test and like measure just where our fitness are. And it honestly just feels like you're being supported regardless of what level you are at. You're being supported through it all so that we all win as a team. It's not just one individual person. It's like if one person is struggling, we're all struggling. And if we all move forward, we're all winning together. And that's one thing that I really, really, really appreciate about this team.
So obviously you've been through the transfer portal. That's a new thing that's going on with the NCAA now. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't. That's another story for another day. But let's talk about let's talk about NIL because that's another new big ball game where, we see the men's sports at a lot of these colleges. I'm sure you saw it at Houston,
Mm-hmm.
especially for basketball, which is,
Right.
pristine at Houston. But also the football team is well over there.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's probably on a little smaller scale at Charlotte. But as far as that goes, how has the NIL affected you? Have you talked about these issues with Charlotte when you were coming in? Because we all know that women's soccer doesn't get the cred that men's basketball or baseball or football get.
Um, Honestly, NIL wasn't really a conversation that I
Okay.
had. Like, yes, I understand like it's not as big as it would be in like the male sports, especially football or basketball, but NIL will come. I've seen a lot of my teammates at many different schools get many big NIL deals with either Nike or Brooks or just like any other companies. So it happens, but that wasn't really a focus of mine. And honestly, it's still not a focus of mine. Like, yes, like I would love to get that NIL deal. Yes, I would love to be representing some
Okay.
big time company, which I feel like will happen. But people get lost in being so worried about the NIL and being so worried about the money aspect of it that they don't do it for the love of the game anymore. They don't do it to actually play the game. And it's just like NIL is just an added bonus to that. And I feel like that's where us in this world get like a little mixed up, and especially in the sports world is like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to college so I can get the NIL and play money. Okay, well, after college you realize you're not doing that anymore. Like there's life after sports, and that's what a lot of people tend to forget. It's like, yeah, you have your NIL money now, yeah, you're a big shot now, but it's like when you leave and you're 30 years down the line, that's not coming in anymore. So I feel like, yeah, it's a thing, but that never came up with me. It was just it's not a big priority to me. Yes, it's great, but again, like I said, it's an added bonus to all your hard work that you've been putting in to get to this point now. So that's just how I feel about NIL.
Well, listen, Liz, I've heard the stories at University of Florida because I know some of the coaches there. I know some players over there. Whether it's been with soccer, whether it's been with softball, see some girls come through the programs, and once they get the money rolling from another program, they say, "See you later, sayonara, and bye-bye," and don't let the door hit you on the way out. But they are out of there, and they want that cash. And you listen, it's a tough economy out there. Everything is sky high. You're in college. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the women on the teams, they're not getting full scholarships. They're getting partial. So if you can get that cash, go for it. I mean, I have no issue with that. But you also have to think if you're going to a school, are you going to like the ladies on the team? Like
Mm-hmm.
you might like the ladies on the team that you're with now. You know, it's a whole different game. You got to take that into perspective as
Mm-hmm.
you're moving to that other team. Go ahead, Liz. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. No, you're perfectly fine.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to just move on to the other question. I said my piece and was ranting and raving for a second, but I want to talk about, the academics and stuff, which, your academics is a big part of your life. You've been on the
Hmm.
dean's list, all academic rookie team. What's something that would surprise somebody listening or watching this from about your non-soccer life, like a hidden talent, something like that? I know you were
Um,
into gymnastics, you said, but
so kind of crazy to say, but like I was the captain of my robotics team.
wow, okay.
So robotics, I love chess.
Wow.
Coding is something that I'm getting back into. I love to do all the nerdy things. I love to read. I'm a really big like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, like
Wow, okay.
mystery type of person when I like to read. I just started now getting into like nonfiction, like helpful books, like giving yourself knowledge. But like if I had to just like have my free time, it would definitely be mystery. Robotics, coding, chess. I love cooking. I love baking. I stress bake a lot. So like during the season, I stress bake. I bake and bake and bake and bake. So like my teammates are gonna be well fed with all their desserts and everything. So yeah, that's just
Wow.
like a little bit about like what I like to do outside of soccer. It comes to a surprise by many people, like saying, "Oh my gosh, you like robotics?" Yeah, I love robotics. I love building. I love like
Hey,
dinosaurs. All the nerdy stuff that you don't think people like, I love.
hey, that's where the cash is. That's where the
Exactly.
cash is. Everything that you said is cash, cash, cash. And I must say, I am extremely impressed by everything you're talking about. Kudos to you. You are definitely very intelligent just by the talking. I'm
Thank
impressed.
you. I appreciate
And
it.
I'm just saying, like, we've had some people on here that have been good interviews. We've had some people that have been very dull, to say it in a nice way. But
Right.
we'll move on with that. That is not you. Uh, so these are kind of just fun questions, some audience questions, and then I want to get into a little bit more exciting, funner questions. It's not really
Hmm.
a word, funner, but we'll go with that for
Hey,
today.
we'll make it a word.
Yeah, we'll roll with it. Favorite pregame ritual?
Favorite pregame ritual. Okay, this is gonna be crazy. I drink milk before all of my games.
Really? And you
Yeah, I
don't
love
have like acid indigestion or any kind of upchucking? That's a bad
no.
word to use at the game, but
Like, I know we have like our pregame meals and everything, but before I leave my house or anything, I always have my yogurt and I always have my milk. And I drink 100%
okay.
whole milk. I don't do the oat milk, almond milk, none of that. Give me all the fat. I love
All
some
right.
dairy. I just feel like it helps me before I go into a game. If I feel full, like, and like I'm not worried about my stomach on the game, I feel like I play a lot better. But that's that's just me.
All right. And what's the craziest road trip story that you have, whether it's in high school, club, Houston, wherever it may be?
Craziest road trip story.
Let's keep it
Um,
PG at least, PG 13 maybe.
um, I would have to say probably in club. When we had went to the PDA tournament, we were
Okay.
supposed to catch a flight down there. Like our teammates, all of us, we were supposed to catch a flight down there. And then last minute, I guess the flight had got canceled or something like messed up. So we were all scrambling, just trying to like find flights and trying to get down there. Ended up, we were all just like following each other down to New Jersey, and it was actually really fun. It's a long drive, but some road trips and just being in the car with your friends is like that's all you need, honestly.
This is from a parent that asks, they're talking about their club coach, and I'm trying to just put this in a shorter question. They're talking
Mhm,
about their club coach just wants their daughter to play club and not high school. There's been a big debate about that. A lot of girls want to play high school with their
mhm,
friends, but obviously the club level is the elite level, ECNL, the list goes on and on. What do you feel about that? I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you
mhm.
played both. You played high school and club. Do you feel
I
like,
did.
yeah, go ahead.
I played my freshman year and a little bit of my sophomore year, but I was also doing track. I was in AAU track.
Wow. Okay.
I did 400, I did high jump, I did long jump. I did all the track, the relays. But honestly, I say you can do both, but you also need to one see like there's different levels of high school. There's like
Yeah.
the high school level where you have all the club girls, and then there's the high school level where it's just like people are just kick and run and they're just gunning for you to get injured. And
Right.
it's it's like it's a balance. You can do both. I say I would do it. I would let my kid do it. But everything's a balance. I didn't go to every single game.
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
didn't
the
play.
deal. Just to interject
Yeah.
quickly, and I apologize for interrupting you. I think the issue is that a lot of parents are worried, and I guess more so coaches than parents, I should say. A lot of
Hmm.
coaches are worried about burnout, that they have a kid on their club team, and if they play high school, even if they're not making every game or every practice, they're
Hmm.
still doing it, and it could lead to excessive burnout of not just mentally but even your body, and
Hmm.
then it could also you could have an injury as well.
Exactly. I would say burnout is a thing, yes, but I was doing high school track, AU track, high school soccer, club soccer. I was doing four things at once on top of all my classes. So I, again, like I said, everything's a balance. Burnout, it also depends on the coaches and like if you've
Right.
seen the high school play, you don't want to go to a high school where it's like they're coming for your ankles because that's exactly when injuries start to happen, or you don't want the coaches to be overplaying you. So if you know your first commitment, always remember this: your first commitment is to club soccer. If you want to go play in college, your first commitment is to club soccer. Everything else comes second. So if you need to put that first, you actually need to write out a schedule. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. These are the days I'm gonna go. And honestly, you can use high school soccer if you're playing club soccer. High school soccer is keeping you game fit for during the high school season or during the off season of club. It's helping you work on your skills. High school soccer to me is something where you can go try new things. You're not gonna there's I mean, yes, college coaches are watching you, but try new things. Go and do a rainbow kick. Go and be a Ronaldo. Do a bicycle kick. I'm not saying like go do crazy stuff, but like it's practice. Like use your high school games and your high school practice as practice, and then you can initiate that into your club seasons. Burnout to me, if you really love the game and you have the passion for it, I don't think it would happen if you balance your schedule well.
Last two questions before we go into more funner questions. Again, that's
Funner.
not a
Our
word,
new
but
word for
we're going to
today.
use it. Yeah, we're going to roll with that. So you got 3 years eligibility left. What are your biggest goals at UNC Charlotte as far as that goes?
Um, 3 years of eligibility left, honestly, is a lot. Um, my goals, I would say now that I am actually on the field and I'm getting ready to play collegiate soccer again after my big injury, is one, just being that dominant player that I know I can be,
Mhm.
taking players on 1v1 and getting into the box and forcing the goalkeeper to make decisions. Another thing, winning the conference championship with my team. Charlotte was second last season in the AAC conference, and they lost to Memphis. This year, I really feel like we have a great chance of winning the conference championships. We have a lot of great pieces, a lot of great girls. That's just a big goal of mine, and hopefully making an NCAA appearance, and then just also making connections with the girls and lifelong friendships. Being in an environment that actually like values you as a person and a player. That's such a big thing for me. Just having the girls and having the support, those are like the big three things that I would love.
So, for young players that might be listening to this, what's the best piece of advice you would give to them as far as that goes? Because again, you've played at, club level, regular high school, Houston, BC, you've went over there and toured there and played committed there, and also obviously at Charlotte. So you've been to a lot of different places, so you can give a pretty good perspective on all this stuff with a younger person listening in.
I would say the two biggest things is your attitude and your effort. If you do not have attitude, if your attitude is not good on the field, the coach is not going to look at you. If you're pouting on the field, if you're throwing tantrums, if you're not working well with your teammates, if you're talking back to your coaches, coaches are not going to look at you. They're going to look the other direction because they don't want drama. They want a person who is a good, hard-working player. Your attitude is so important and your effort. How you work not only for yourself, but how you work for your team. You have to work for each other on that field. It's a team sport. It's not just a one person sport. Especially when you get down to the last final minutes of the game, that really shows like your effort in those last final minutes of the game really shows how much you really want this. And it's just being able to be like, okay, sitting down with yourself and really thinking, yes, this is what I want to do. This is the sport that I want to go into. And yeah, I was fighting with myself. Honestly, I was fighting with myself. Is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that I love? My dad told me, you're not doing this for me. You're not doing this for your mom. You're not doing this for anyone. Your dreams are only going to become reality when your thoughts become action. And it's like, I can say, I want to be the best. I can say, I want to go out there and dominate. I can say, I'm going to go out there and score 5 goals. But
Mhm.
it's, what am I doing to put that in place? What actions am I doing to lead me to get there? And not just think about myself, but sometimes you have to cut certain things off, certain people, just horn in and focus on what you really want. And you can apply that to everything. Whatever career you want to go to, guys, whatever sport you're in, not even just soccer, your attitude, your effort, and how you really like take the bull by the horns and just do it. Just do it. Because if you're putting something else before your goals, everyone else is going to get to their goals before you. And if you want to be the one that people are talking about and not you talking about someone else, you have to do what you have to do and put everything in place to get to where you want to be.
Elizabeth Bigala here on the program. It is Liz dot underscore dot Kate on Instagram, and then on TikTok it's Liz Kate Katee on TikTok. Definitely check her out on both social media platforms. We're gonna get into a little bit of a more exciting questions. So we talk about social life. Obviously, you're playing soccer basically from when you get there in July all the way up till you could hypothetically play until December if you make
Hmm.
the final in the NCAA. But regardless whether it's till December or November or whatever it may be, that's quite a bit of the year. So
Exactly.
how is your social life during that period? Because there's a lot of things in college. Obviously, you're not involved in this, but there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's crazy
Yeah.
parties, there's people getting arrested. There's all kinds of stuff going on college campuses. How do you have a good time, balance soccer, and also stay away from all that gobbledygook nonsense we just spoke about?
Um, I say like you can have a social life, but again, it's all about balance. You can go out and you can go to parties if that's what you want to do. You can go and hang out with your friends, and you can be up till 3 a.m. in the morning if you want to, but just know you have 7 a.m. practice. You sign
Right.
that you must be up and you must be in that facility at 7 a.m. So if you want to go and party at 3 a.m., go ahead, but it's also like you have to really think about what's important And if soccer is your first commitment, then you have to do that. And I really learned that this is something that I want to do. So I kind of have to put my social life to the side just a little bit until after the season. I still go out here and there. I go and do things after practice with my friends. I go in to the park and we do study sessions sometimes. But the social life to me isn't that maximal, especially during season because you're dead tired. You're doing workouts all the time. So you can do it, but it's make sure you have all your homework done. Make sure your practices and stuff are done before all of that.
Do you feel like it's tough dating as a college athlete? Because, at least when I was an athlete, if you're on a good team, you're at like the top of the heap. Everybody kind of looks at you as a god as far as that goes, and people want to aspire to be like you, hang around with you. How does that affect like dating life? I mean, it's kind of like the social life question that you just kind of
Hmm.
expanded on, but it's a little bit different because not only those issues that I just spoke about, but also, as you just talked about, you got practices. Your teammates might want to hang around with you. Maybe you got friends that are outside of the team you want to hang around with. How does all that play as far as dating goes?
Um, I would say the dating life can be a little bit tricky, especially in college.
Yeah.
I'll speak for myself. My dating life can be a little tricky, especially when it comes to college, but I think you have to differentiate and you have to have that discernment when you're talking to certain people like, okay, what do you like, are you here to like actually want to talk to me, or are you just here to just mess around and stuff. So I think that like once you find like it can be done, but you just have to find the person that has the same mentality and goals as you. And once you do that, especially building that into like your soccer and building that into your sports, um to me I find it a lot easier to go to a fellow athlete.
Yeah.
That can also be hard because they all have some big heads but it just depends. If you find that person that actually has the same mentality as you and can, be on the same page as you and not always want you to like put them first and, like they want you to succeed in your sport and put your sport first and some to an extent, it can work. It just depends on everything, and like
Listen,
if
I
you're
just feel like the dating has changed a lot. Dating is getting, I feel like, worse than better, especially with all the apps. Like a lot of the apps are just kind of like who looks the best,
hmm
and people just kind of stay on the apps. They don't want to talk to people face to face, one on one. They don't want to go out on dates. They just want to see how many likes they can get from that girl or that guy, whatever gender they're looking at. So that's kind of where I am with that, and it is tough to find, a girlfriend or a boyfriend
hmm
from whatever lens you're looking at right now. But we'll move on to the next question. We talk about being back on the field and trash talking.
hmm
Do you trash talk? And if so, what are your main lines that you use? Do you use different trash talk or similar trash talk to the same different players rather?
Um, I'm not really a trash talker on the
Okay.
field because I do have a little mouth on me, so I try to keep that to a minimum. But like if
We
there
talking
is trash,
about swearing or we talking about
not swearing. I can come up with smart remarks very fast,
all
and
right.
so I just try to keep that to a minimum on the soccer field. Just point to the scoreboard if you're winning. If you're not winning, just keep your mouth shut. Or like if they're trash talking you, laugh in their face because they have nothing better to do with their life. I find it funny when people start trash talking because I'm like, you're doing this for what reason? Like, you don't have a reason to be doing this. You just want to get in my head. That's just another mental trick people try to play.
Have
So
you
that's not really a thing that I do, the trash talking, but it in the heat of the game, like things can come out, but that's not really just a big part of my game or anything that like I do like say.
have you ever had any altercations on the field with another player? I mean, I've seen some crazy things where girls got ponytails and another girl rips the girl within her ponytail. Like there's been some real crazy stuff that I've seen, whether it's been in clips online or even some crazy pushing in person that have got somebody hurt. Have you have any had any issues with that in the past? Somebody going after you?
I've not been in any altercations. Have I had
Wow.
people gunning for my legs and, just yanking me down by my hair and, just pushing me around on the field and double teaming? Yeah. I mean, that comes with the game. That comes with like a lot of high level play, but altercation on the field, like, yes, if you're getting in my face, I'm going to talk to you back, like, back
Mhm.
up, get out my face, try to de-escalate the situation. But I haven't been in any like physical altercations on the field,
Okay.
It's that's I try to stay as minimal with that as possible, just de-escalating it, walking away from it, confrontation and all that, so that nothing physical does happen, because that does result in red cards and, suspensions, and we like to avoid that at all costs.
Right. No, I definitely can understand that. And you seem very calm, cool, and collected, at least from what you say on the field. So that's very positive that you're not going to get knocked off the field with a yellow or red card. So very, very good there. Last three questions before we end our conversation today. I appreciate you being so gracious with your time and
Of
love to
course.
have you on again as the season rolls on in a few months, as far as that goes. But we talk about celebrations. Do you have any celebrations after any goal scoring that you kind of lean on, or do you make up a different celebration every time you score?
People have been telling me that I need to have a celebration when I score. I kind of just run and jump and hug on the first person that I see, honestly. But now that like I'm in the college scene and I'm starting to play again, I feel like I need to get like a little dance move going on, a little something
Yeah, but
to.
can you dance though? If you can't dance, no one wants to see that. That's
I
all
can
I'm
TikTok
saying.
dance. I can
Okay.
TikTok dance. I can do a little TikTok, little, something like that. I just can't, I'm not a dancer, but I
Okay.
can have a little celebration. But biggest thing, I just like to run and hug my teammates because without them, I wouldn't have been able to score that goal.
All I'm saying is I have ESPN Plus. We're going to be checking out some of those Charlotte games. And if I see that ball go in the back of the net, I better see some 1-2 step or something. That's all
Okay, I
I'm
got
saying.
you. Do a
Because I'm
little
going to have to hit
dance-o.
you up after the game and say, if you didn't do that 1-2 step, we're going to have to get some fighting words on my end. Anyways, as we keep going on, this has been a great conversation. What would some non-soccer fans that are listening to this conversation be shocked to learn about college soccer life?
Um, let's see. College soccer life. We also do at Houston. We technically did 2 days. Like we went through a fall camp. Like we go through fall camp just as much
Mm,
as other sports to go through fall camp. Um, we lift, and I say we do a lot of fitness. A
mm,
lot of fitness. That's just a big horned in thing that we do. There isn't really, I feel like we're like other sports like football, just without the tackling. I
sure.
wouldn't say there's anything like crazy that's different. Not that I've experienced anyways, but I would say like the fall camp is probably like the most like, oh my gosh, like you do that. And there's a lot of tournaments for soccer that probably people didn't realize, or like how big of a sport it is for women's soccer. I'd say it's bigger for women's soccer than it is men's soccer, but that's just me being biased. But
Right.
yeah.
Listen, we're going to end with this last question. I think this is an important question, not just for you, not just for myself, but also for everybody listening. What is the one rule in women's college soccer that you think is completely stupid and should be changed? Mine is
Uh,
the overtime rule.
the overtime rule. I hmm. I would say one rule that I think would need to be changed. I guess like shin guards. Like, yes, it's important, but like I see why we wear them, but like I see a lot of players not wearing them. Like on the field, like they probably having like tiny baby shin guards. Like I've seen people wear tiny, tiny baby shin guards. So it's just like if we're gonna wear tiny, tiny baby shin guards, I feel like people should have a choice in whether if they want to wear shin guards or not, because they're putting them their own selves at risk. Me, I will wear my shin guards, but I feel like people should have a choice if they want to wear their shin guards or not.
What is your take on the overtime rule that, you play a regular season game and there's no overtime now? Do you feel like they should be able to play overtime so we can at least get a winner or no?
I do. I feel like if it's like earlier in the season, okay, like I understand like a 0-0 tie, but going later into the season and like you're really determining like people going
Conference.
to like conference championships and NCAA tournaments and everything, and there's no overtime. It's like, and you just end on a tie. It's like, no, like we need a distinct winner to see who's actually going to go to this and not going to go to this because that a tie makes or breaks a lot of people's season. So I feel like overtime helps that a lot. A game like that should never be left in a tie.
Right. And I agree with that 100%. And I think it does hurt some teams that if they had just an extra 2, 5, 10, 20 minutes, they probably would win the game, but they're
Hmm.
not going to because the game ends. But, anyways, Elizabeth Bigala here on the program. It is Liz._Kate on Instagram, and then it's Liz Kate with two E's on TikTok. Liz, it's been a pleasure. So exciting to have you on the program. You were amazing. And it was not a dull interview, that's for sure. And we definitely hope that people check out University of Charlotte women's soccer on ESPN Plus, because that's where I'm sure most of the games are. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah,
In general, and check her out. And Liz, what number are you going to be this year so
I
people can
believe
look
I'm
for you?
number 22 this year.
Is that by choice or is that just
Um,
happenstance?
it happened, but I also like number 22 because it's double of 11 and
Okay.
11 is my original number. So I feel like 22 just tells me I have a second chance. So,
Oh. Anything else you want to leave us with, Liz, as far as a website for your foundation? I know you're still working the kinks out with that, but I don't know if you have a website, social media for it, but if you want to shout that out, you can. Otherwise, it was great having you on, and we're so grateful to hopefully talk to you as the season rolls on.
yes, of course. Thank you guys and go Niners.
All right. 1 second.